Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another video. For some reason, I clicked the live button like a minute ago and I've just gone live now, so I really hope that it's not going to be laggy or anything. But yes, there is a slight change of setup and I'm sorry if we've got flashy lights, but I will go and share my screen in a second because the Manchester United lineup for Chelsea is basically pretty much confirmed when you really think about it, and Ralf Rangnick's almost confirmed in his press conference. So I'm going to show you what I believe, and I'm 95% confident will be the lineup tomorrow night. We're also going to get into some transfer news. I spoke about KALVIN Phillips in my video earlier. We've got a little bit of news to discuss on Timber and Antony. What's the updates on that? Darwin Núñez, even Jonathan David, just a couple of names United have been linked to, even Pau Torres, who was obviously playing against Liverpool tonight. And look, Pau Torres is not a bad centre-back, but I don't think he's the profile of centre-back that we need. He's too standoffish. And for me, again, he would be £50 million, and I don't think he's quite worth that. I'd rather invest 30 million in someone like Timber that we know suits Ten Hag's style of play and is 20 years old. And also, we're going to be talking about some comments that Sir Alex Ferguson has made about the state of Manchester United, the dressing room. And basically, Sir Alex is saying there needs to be some control at Manchester United and has spoken about, obviously, Ten Hag coming in. But I want to get right into a little bit of news. But before I get into the starting lineup and all of that, here is the news ahead of the Chelsea game that you need to be aware of. So Ralf Rangnick's confirmed Maguire, Sancho, Paul Pogba, Fred, Cavani, surprise, surprise. Luke Shaw will be unavailable to face Chelsea. Wan-Bissaka is also a doubt because of a slight injury as well. So that means no Maguire, no Sancho, no Pogba, no Fred, no Cavani, no Shaw, and probably no Wan-Bissaka. We know that Harry Maguire's got like a hip injury and doesn't feel ready to play, which is it's bizarre because I'm not going in on Harry Maguire because he doesn't normally play injured, but it's more Harry Maguire's choice and he doesn't feel ready to play rather than, him not wanting to play. Jadon Sancho has tonsillitis, and Jadon Sancho is the only good thing about Man United right now and Ronaldo. So we're really watching for Ronaldo. So we've got a lot of injuries at Manchester United, and before I get into the lineup and the team news, my initial thought with all these injuries at Manchester United is Liverpool are playing twice a week. Liverpool at every cup competition, bloody Liverpool could win the quadruple. So with Liverpool being in every cup competition, Liverpool playing twice a week, how come Liverpool have barely any injuries when we've played so many less games? Does anyone else think that's a bit bizarre? Liverpool have got barely any injuries compared to us, and they've played so many more games, and they seem to be fit. And I think that's bizarre. And I think, maybe it's because Liverpool have better coaches. Maybe it's because Liverpool have better recruitment, so they recruit less injury-prone players. But maybe Liverpool's medical staff and everything's better than ours. And also, I think if Man United are in a Champions League semi-final right now, if Manchester United are in a title race, do you think some of these injured players would still be injured? Do you think it's weird that the season's basically over, there's a lot of heat on the players, and a lot of them are getting injured? Because Ralf Rangnick, the only player that Ralf Rangnick really protected was Fred. Ralf Rangnick said in this press conference, Fred is a player that gives it his all for Manchester United. If Fred's injured, I truly believe he's injured. Ralf Rangnick says something like that, where if Fred's injured, he's injured. Is that Ralf Rangnick's way of saying, yeah, Cavani, is he really injured? Is that Ralf Rangnick's way of, going in on certain Manchester United players with injuries, maybe faking it? Because I do feel, and maybe I'm being a bitch, but I do feel if Man United were in a Champions League semi-final, if Man United were in a Champions League final, I don't think all these players that were injured would be injured, Gaz has said that these last 4 games are going to be torture for Manchester United. They are going to be absolutely torture. And Liverpool in the final, I think they will be Man City if they score 2. This is the thing. It's going to be a Liverpool City final, and we know it. And you know what? I'd want Liverpool to win because at least Liverpool won it before. We can't banter City when they win the Champions League. And I never thought in my whole life that I'll be saying this, but I might want Liverpool to win the Champions League because I don't want City to win it. I want City to win the league, but I might actually want Liverpool to win the Champions League, which is sad. Diego says, let's get Alice to 34,000 subscribers. Yes, guys, if you are new, please do subscribe, because guess how many subscribers we're on? We're on 33,987. So we're only 13 subscribers away from 34K. So maybe we can hit that by the end of the live stream if everyone keeps hitting the likes so new people come to the live stream. Someone said bring back Ollie. Well, Ollie couldn't beat that Villarreal team that Liverpool smashed, so I'm not sure if I'll be bringing back Ollie personally myself. But what I am going to do, because this flickering light is kind of annoying me, I'm going to go and get into the lineup for the Chelsea game. So I'm going to share my screen with you now and show you exactly what the lineup will be for the Chelsea game. And we know 9 out of 11 players that will definitely be playing. So obviously David De Gea is going to be in goal unless he gets an injury in the next 24 hours. despite that woeful performance, Wan-Bissaka, I think, is a doubt. And we know that Ralf Rangnick does not like Wan-Bissaka. And Ralf Rangnick and Erik ten Hag put Wan-Bissaka on the list of players that they want sold. They also want Telle sold, but Wan-Bissaka is on the list of 5 players who are still on contract at Man United they want sold, by the way. And it will be Dalot as the fullbacks playing for Manchester United. Harry Maguire is injured. Ralf Rangnick does not like Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly, again, is on the list of being sold. And Phil Jones, Ralf Rangnick is put on the list of being sold. So Wan-Bissaka, Bailly and Phil Jones are all on the list to be sold this summer. That came out, obviously, I think, by a Rob Dawson article. So we know that the centre-back pairing will be Varane and Lindelof. And we know that Maguire is 100% unavailable. And we know that he's not going to play Bailly or Jones unless Varane or Lindelof pick up a last-minute injury. So this, I'm 100% sure this will be the back 5 tomorrow. We know that Cristiano Ronaldo will play. We know that Antony Elanga will play. And with Jadon Sancho out, Marcus Rashford will be starting into the 3rd position on the left wing. So this is Rashford's chance to really have a good game, because if Rashford doesn't have a good game today, when is he going to have a good game? Matic will have to be the CDM because we've got no one else, because Pogba and Fred are out. And McTominay, despite having 7 touches in 45 minutes versus Arsenal, will also play because no Fred, no Pogba. Bruno Fernandes will probably play because although Jesse Lingard is available, although Juan Mata is available, Juan Mata and Jesse Lingard are both leading the 3 in the summer. And also, Ralf Rangnick is not very happy with Jesse Lingard at the moment, with him being sort of revealed as one of the leakers. Same with, Ralf Rangnick is unhappy with Eric Bailly, and Ralf Rangnick is unhappy with Jesse Lingard. And I believe those 2 players will not play because they've had issues with Ralf Rangnick off the pitch. And we know that obviously Wan-Bissaka a better job than Telles at left back against Liverpool, but I don't think that was hard, and Wan-Bissaka is an injury. So this is most likely to be the lineup tomorrow, because if you look at all the injuries at Manchester United, this will be the lineup with Lingard, Bailly, Jones, Mata, Henderson's 5 of the players on the bench, and Garnacho and MEJBRI as the other players on the bench. However, this is why I'm not 100% sure this is the lineup, because Ralf Rangnick said in his press conference today, I'm going to find the quote. He said something about young players playing. Okay, I found it. Rangnick was asked, because this is, with everyone injured and with Bailly and Lingard falling out of Ralf Rangnick, using logical sense and using a leaked source, this is apparently the lineup tomorrow versus Chelsea. But Rangnick did say this, and this is where I think we could get a shock of Garnacho starting, or a shock of MEJBRI starting. There's a chance that MEJBRI and Garnacho could start tomorrow, because Ralf Rangnick said on youngsters being included in the squad against Chelsea, he said, it's possible. We have quite a few players missing tomorrow and 1 or 2 question marks. We still have to wait and see if Aaron Wan-Bissaka is available. Rangnick says, right now it seems that 14 of our professional team are available and the rest are youngsters. So there's going to probably be 3 or 4 young players in the squad tomorrow. I believe with Wan-Bissaka probably being out, that Alvaro Fernandez will feature in the Manchester United squad for the first time tomorrow, as well as Garnacho, as well as MEJBRI, and maybe even Sholatiri, MEJBRI, Garnacho, and Alvaro Fernandez, the left back, will probably all be in the squad for Chelsea. And there are reports and suggestions that Ralf Rangnick is willing to give Garnacho a start. I don't think he will, but I think Garnacho could potentially come off the bench. And there's rumours that Bruno would be dropped and MEJBRI would be given a start. Again, I can't see that happening in a game like Chelsea. I think Bruno deserves to be dropped, but do you want to play an Asian Juan Mata over Bruno? No. I think with Lingard's comments to Scholes, it's obvious that he's not going to play Lingard over Bruno, despite Bruno being poor. So there's suggestions that Garnacho and MEJBRI could get minutes tomorrow. I believe Garnacho and MEJBRI will get minutes tomorrow because of how lackluster the squad is, but I believe that this lineup in front of me will be the starting lineup, because basically everyone else is injured as well. Every rebuild we have to rebuild. It's shocking. It's crazy that, just a year ago, we were saying we're 3 signings off winning the league. Like a year ago, we'd just gone into the final of the Europa League. We got 2nd in the league. It was a good season in a weird way, and we felt that we were 3 signings of winning a league. This time a year ago, we only thought we were 3 signings of winning the league. I think I always felt, if we'd have got a CDM in the summer, that we could challenge. I said when we signed Ronaldo, brilliant, we'll get top 4. I think we'll probably win an FA Cup or something this season, I said. But I said, we need a CDM to challenge. And that's crazy. A year ago, that a lot of us believed that, we were CDM away from being this top team, being up there with the City and Liverpools. And now all of a sudden we seem so far away from City and Liverpool, who are going into another final. It's absolutely crazy. Andrew says, I don't know, seems ambitious predictions under Ralf with the youth. If anything, most won't even make it on the bench. I think that we could see Alvaro Fernandez on the bench because of the lack of fullbacks. But I think we will see Garnacho and MEJBRI on the bench. And maybe Thierry, but I don't think we'll see a McNeil or Hugo. I think it would be the 4 players I named that make the bench. We are going to talk about KALVIN Phillips. We are going to talk about what Sir Alex Ferguson said and all of that in a second. But I want to be honest with you guys. I'm not particularly confident for this Chelsea game tomorrow. I don't know how you guys are feeling regarding the Chelsea game tomorrow, but myself, I'm not particularly confident. I look at that lineup and I think using common sense, this will probably be the lineup that we play versus Chelsea tomorrow. And it just doesn't fill me with confidence. I just feel like we're going to lose again. And, you know, I don't want to be in the Conference League. You do not understand. I do not give a crap about the Conference League. I'm fine with the Europa League. And, you know, maybe I'm trying to look at the positives. Ideally, I want to be in the Champions League. Of course, but we're not going to be in the Champions League. Even Ralf Rangnick is saying in his press conferences, you know, United aren't going to be in the Champions League. Ralf Rangnick's basically said that. But what I do want to say is, you know, with the Europa League, I mean, you're probably thinking, oh my God, Alice, you're already looking for positives about being in the Europa League. Positive FC. It's negative support at Man United. Our 2 arch rivals, City and Liverpool, are going to win trophies. They're going to be in the Champions League final and they're going head-to-head for the Premier League. And it's shit being a United fan. And if Arsenal get top 4, it'll make it even shitter because Arsenal fans are so annoying. And I know it's dreadful being a United fan right now. But if we're thinking about positive, we have one of the best youth academies we've had in years. And I know we have a reputation of a fan base of overhyping our youth. Of course we have a reputation of overhyping our youth. I think every club does it. But this is the first time the Manchester United Youth Academy has got to the FA Cup Youth Final in 11 years. First time we got to a Youth Cup Final in 11 years. This is, you know, Van Gaal developed the youth a lot. This is our best youth set of players. And you've got players like James Garner doing brilliant on loan. You know, I've completely forgot where my point was going. But I think the youth at United is very, very exciting. And I think what I was going to say, actually, I remember where I was going, is at least if you're in the Europa League, you get a chance to see and play the youth and involve the youth. And I want to be in the Champions League, of course. Do not spin this out of proportion. But maybe being in the Europa League is better for Ten Hag. Because in the Champions League, you've got to play your stronger squad week in, week out. You know, there's a lot more, I think, pressure. And, you know, you don't really get a break. But in the Europa League, maybe it's better that we're in the Europa League under Ten Hag. Because this will give Ten Hag the opportunity to give Garner and MEJBRI the minutes. You know, and because I think this rebuild is going to be reliant on new signings, and I think youth's going to be heavily involved in this rebuild because as many as 10 players could leave Manchester United, but only 3 or 4 will come back in, and the squad feels quite thin as it is. I think this is a chance where a lot of players in the youth could start to be involved because we are going to have to get rid of a lot of players. And maybe being in the Europa League is a little bit better because of that. But again, as Andrew says, I'm worried we're on pace for a Conference League finish. I don't want to be in the Conference League because it's a shit, useless league, and the trophy is clapped. But the Europa League, I would take it. I would take it. And I don't want to be in the Europa League, of course. I'd rather be in the Champions League. But maybe it's better for us. Maybe it's better because all these young players, Alvaro Fernandez, Thierry, you know, coming through, Joe Hugo, Charlie McNeil, Kobe, I forgot to say his surname. You know, just to name a few. MEJBRI, Garnacho, so many, Garner. You can even talk about Dylan Levitt, Brandon Williams. And Brandon Williams could be coming back under Ten Hag because, you know, again, it was reported that Man United want to get rid of Telles and Wan-Bissaka, and that Brandon Williams could come back and just fill in as a backup fullback. And it could be that our fullbacks next season are Delo and Luke Shaw, maybe Spence from Nottingham Forest being 12 million and Brandon Williams being our backup because United do want a fullback, but they'd rather, you know, invest in a centre-back, CDM and striker. And all the transfer reports are saying we want Wan-Bissaka gone, we want Telles gone, and all of a sudden Brandon Williams is sort of getting linked to, you know, Ten Hag's done an interview with Brandon Williams, Ten Hag's done an interview with Ronaldo, and, you know, I'm not saying that Brandon Williams is Manchester United standard, but Brandon Williams has proven that in a poor Norwich side, he was one of their better players, and he is Premier League level, and he is only 21, so maybe one day he become Man United level, but I think he will ultimately be a Brighton level player, but maybe as a backup, maybe he would be better than Telles because there's one thing about Brandon Williams, and you listen to him in interviews, he's got the right mentality. He got asked about Man United and he said, if I'm being honest, of course I'd love to train with Cristiano Ronaldo, but I don't think about Man United. I don't care about Man United. I have to do what's best for my career, and if that means leaving Man United, then I'm willing to play for Norwich. And I think that's the mentality. Brandon Williams could be at United, get all the social media attention, the PR attention, and get all the money, but he said, I'd want to be at Norwich, it's my career's game time, and maybe just even a backup left back like Brandon Williams, just because he's got the right mentality, United could see it's a positive. Guys, we do have over 200 people watching, so please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. We're 13 subscribers away from 34k. There's 200 people watching, so if there's 13 of you guys that aren't subscribed, please do subscribe because we're so close to 34k as well. Johan says don't buy Phillips. I agree. Now Kalvin Phillips is a good player. Kalvin Phillips is better than what we currently have, but Kalvin Phillips, because he's English, is overpriced. He's got an injury record as well, and I think Kalvin Phillips, he's got the energy, he's got what we need. I think short term I'd take Kalvin Phillips at United, but I just feel like if we had a rebuild in 3 years, we'd be saying Kalvin Phillips needs to go, and Kalvin Phillips could positively surprise me, but I just think with his injury record and his price that I wouldn't personally be going for Kalvin Phillips. And Alex, have you read Ten Hag's for interviews? Well, the Mirror, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but the Mirror have suggested that Ten Hag has already interviewed the likes of Brandon Williams, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and a couple of United players. Fernandes is a better left back than Williams, but we haven't seen Fernandes play first team minutes. And Ten Hag worked with the Ajax youth, says Craig Campbell, exactly. And talking of Ten Hag, we know that Ten Hag has worked with the Ajax Youth Academy. He's given a lot of good young players a chance. He's developed a lot of youth players. And, Ten Hag had 3 terms for joining Manchester United. And I think Romano even confirmed these 3 terms. That Ten Hag's first term was that he could get a veto in incomings, outgoings, new contracts. Ten Hag's second term is that he could bring in the staff he wanted and recruit the staff he wanted. But Ten Hag's third term was he wanted to work closely with the youth academy so he could bring them through and develop them. And, United were creaming over that. They went, youth academy, we love that. Which, probably helped get him the job, if you want my honest opinion. But Ten Hag has a brilliant reputation of developing youth. There's potential in Brandon Williams. He's only 21. He's done all right on loan at Norwich. I know Norwich are getting relegated, but he's done all right. James Garner's only 21. He's been absolutely brilliant in the Championship. MEJBRI, Garnacho, McNeil, they've all got brilliant futures at United. And I think if I was a youth player at Man United, I would probably be excited because I think a year ago, if I was a youth player at Man United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I wouldn't want to be at Man United. And this is no disrespect to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but Ole was playing the same underperforming players week in, week out. Ole gave really no one a chance other than Greenwood. Ole, barely would play Ahmad when everyone else was dreadful. Ole didn't really use Elanga other than the games that didn't matter. Ole barely utilised the youth at United. And then obviously Rangnick's come in and he's put some faith in Elanga. And I think with Ten Hag coming in and having this big reputation for developing youth and doing stuff with the youth, I think if I was a youth player at Man United, I'd be quite excited. I know James Garner is someone that Ten Hag views highly, and James Garner, MEJBRI, and Garnacho were revealed to actually be youth players that Ten Hag is excited to work with next season, which I think is, again, very exciting. Andrew has put that Phillips will be 27 next season and not a top-level footballer. Much rather go abroad for options like Lema in particular, and I absolutely agree with Andrew there. We will get into the transfer news. Kalvin Phillips, Neves, Tchouameni, De Jong. We've been linked to a lot of midfielders, but I'm with Andrew on this. I think 50 million for a player that will be 27 next year with a bit of an injury record that's only had 2 seasons experience in the Premier League. And while he's been good, he's not been the level of Declan Rice. I look at Declan Rice and go, wow, look at Kalvin Phillips and go, he's better than what we have, but is he United quality? And I think, when we signed Harry Maguire, I said Harry Maguire is better than what we currently have, but is he a Premier League winning side quality? And he's not. And I feel the same with Kalvin Phillips. Obviously, we can't buy all players in the Premier League winning side qualities, but we want to buy players that could potentially be good enough to play in a Premier League winning side and players that, have proven themselves at the top level, I think. Guys, we are on 97 likes, so that's 3 likes away from 200 likes, so please do hit that like button. And Andrew said that this is a dead season with a toxic squad. Will be nice to see the youth, but can't see them benefiting from the current setup and situation. I agree. And SM says Kamara is the one to get. I would love Kamara on a 3 at Manchester United. I think we need 2 midfielders. Ralf Rangnick, obviously I've mentioned this before, Ralf Rangnick has gone to the Manchester United board. Ralf Rangnick's gone to Murta, gone to Fletcher, gone to Arnold allegedly and said, you need to sort out this midfield. This midfield is not at the standard of Premier League. Apparently, Ralf Rangnick had gone in on Arnold and Fletcher and Murta for neglecting the midfield for so long and saying that we're not up to the pace, energy of the Premier League, and is suggesting United need to sign more than 1 midfielder. We need to sign more than 1, Rangnick was saying. And I think, we could get a CDM in, and then the second midfielder could be like Kamara on a 3. Then I think that would be good business from Manchester United. And, again, I think we need to look at players abroad, definitely. I mean, like as Andrew said, Lema would be a very good midfield option. And Peter says, OMG, that's the lineup for tomorrow. I believe that this on the screen is what I believe will be the lineup tomorrow. Ralf Rangnick has confirmed which players won't play tomorrow, and that leaves me with this lineup: Mata, Lingard, Bailly, and Jones on the bench. And with Lingard and Bailly falling out with Rangnick and Jones and Mata not being the standard, it's common sense that this will be the lineup for tomorrow's game because everyone else is injured. It's not the most appealing lineup. There are rumours suggesting some hints that Garnacho and MEJBRI will be in the lineup, but I think they will be subbed on. I don't think they will be starting as well. And I'm excited by the talent emerging, such as Garnacho, Mengi, MEJBRI, Bernard, McNeil. Watch out for Bernard. He's attracted interest from a few English clubs, I think. Yeah, Bernard's the one that's the centre back that's gone on loan at Hull. I haven't seen him much, but I know he did start the loan well. But yeah, he's quite a good centre back. But I think the thing with defenders is, it sounds weird, but with attackers, they're much easier to bring through. I think with Garnacho and midfielders, it's a lot easier to develop them through. Defenders don't really seem to develop through to a later stage. And I think, with us, our best bet would be putting our best young centre-backs on loan in the Premier League and Championship until we believe that they're ready. It's a shame that Tuanzebe hasn't seemed to work out as well. Gas says our defence is dreadful. Exactly. This is why I'm more than happy. If he wants to start Alvaro Fernandez at left-back tomorrow, I'm more than happy for him to do that because they're awful. And apparently Bernard is wanted by West Ham. Well, I think he has had a good season, but I've only seen him play a few times. When is the Youth Cup final? First week in May. I will need to double check the date, but I think it's like May 5th or 6th. FA Youth Cup final 2022. When is the Youth Cup final? Between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest will play at 7:30 on Wednesday, the 11th of May. In the Youth Cup final, which will be very, very exciting. And I will do a watch along for that. And it's really funny that we've sold over 30,000 tickets for the Youth Cup final already. I don't even think there's 30,000 Manchester City fans on this planet. So it's crazy how big this club is as well. And Andrew says, I'm excited that we now have a manager coming in who uses and develops youth. Great to have promising youth, but they need to be utilised properly. Exactly. And I think why I'm so happy with the Ten Hag appointment is there's multiple reasons why I'm happy that United have signed Ten Hag. The first reason that I'm very happy that Manchester United signed Ten Hag is because Ten Hag is not a yes man. Poch cannot control the dressing room at PSG. PSG, despite Poch winning the league at PSG are ready to sack Poch. He cannot control the dressing room. He cannot command the respect of the players. Man United's dressing room needs control. So Alex Ferguson says Man United's dressing room needs control. And at the end of the day, Pochettino does not offer that. So that's one good reason we've got Ten Hag. And the second good reason we've got Ten Hag is, and I think he's had more experience of doing a rebuild. He has rebuilt Ajax. He's got a better reputation, which I think is another good reason for getting Ten Hag in. And also the third and final reason why I like Ten Hag is because of his reputation for developing youth. And I think when we've got our best youth academy in a few years, having someone like Ten Hag in is massive. Oh, my computer's making an annoying noise. Why are you making an annoying noise, computer? Is it actually a 4-3-3? No, I think it will be a 4-2-3-1. I didn't bother to change the formation properly. And Jesse Lingard says, why am I not in the starting 11? Because, Paul Scholes kind of outed you and said, you're the fucking leaker, mate. Apparently, Paul Scholes, Jesse Lingard is not the slightest bit happy with Paul Scholes, which I think is no shock. I don't think, if I was Jesse Lingard, I don't think I'd be particularly happy with Paul Scholes basically leaking news and all of that as well. YouTube says remove all these players and bring in young, hungry players that get with the times. Honestly, this is the big thing. This is the big thing about the Liverpool game and MEJBRI. The way MEJBRI came on with such hunger versus Liverpool was absolutely brilliant. And I would love to see MEJBRI feature again, but I think we could see a Garnacho debut tomorrow. I have a feeling we could see our Garnacho debut tomorrow as well. And also, I do want to say something, and I saw this on Twitter. So basically, all the Ollie-inners were all saying, oh, Ollie beat this Man City side 3 times, and we're bigging up Ollie, saying Ollie should have stayed, he beat this Man City side 3 times. None of the Ollie-inners are talking about how we didn't beat Villarreal, that Liverpool had just demolished as well. Just want to put there. I want to get into some comments that Sir Alex Ferguson has made about Manchester United. Then we're going to get into Ralf Rangnick's press conference, because Ralf Rangnick, again, has slandered Man United players, and Ralf Rangnick has revealed, basically, the players that he likes. Ralf Rangnick has spoke very highly of players like Fred, Cristiano Ronaldo and their mentality, and Ralf Rangnick's also dropped some hints that there are some problems at Manchester United. So I want to drop straight into the news, but I want to quickly get into what has been said by Sir Alex Ferguson. So we all know who Sir Alex Ferguson is. If you don't know who Sir Alex Ferguson is, I'm concerned. I'm concerned if you're watching, you don't know who it is. And Andrew obviously just mentioned here that Ralf talked about young, hungry players. Phillips is not that. This would be one of his last contracts, exactly. And I don't think Phillips talks shit about United all the time. Like, he doesn't. He's a Leeds boy. Do you know what I mean? And Jesse Leakgard says gas. But Sir Alex Ferguson is understood to have taken a backseat during the long process to appoint Erik ten Hag, with football director John Murtough taking the lead of the search for the first time. And the Mirror have revealed that Sir Alex Ferguson was not involved in who the next manager was. He just took the backseat. He said, let John Murtough, let Rangnick, let them get on with it. Sir Alex Ferguson, man is old. Man doesn't want to get involved. Sir Alex Ferguson, according to the Mirror, he was asked by the Mirror if Erik ten Hag could be the man to turn Man United's fortunes around. And Sir Alex Ferguson said about ten Hag, Sir Alex Ferguson said, I hope ten Hag does well at the club. The club needs someone to get control. The club needs control, and I hope that he does well. This is Sir Alex Ferguson saying that he hopes ten Hag does well. But this is Sir Alex Ferguson saying Man United need control. They need someone to get into Manchester United and grab control. This again is Sir Alex Ferguson saying this club is out of control. Is this Sir Alex Ferguson talking about the board, talking about people higher up? Or is this probably Sir Alex Ferguson talking about the dressing room? Because Paul Scholes knows the dressing room's out of control. Ralf Rangnick knows the dressing room's out of control. The fans know the dressing room's out of control. You know, it's common knowledge. That Man United dressing room is out of control. The whole world knows it. It's the worst kept secret in history. Do you know what I mean? That the dressing room is out of control. And I think this is Sir Alex's way of saying, yeah, the Man United dressing room is out of control. They need some control as well. And, it's sad that, Sir Alex Ferguson's retired. And Sir Alex Ferguson, since he's retired, his life seems to be so much harder. I feel like Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement has been more stressful than his managerial career, because Sir Alex Ferguson spent his retirement watching us get beat 4-0, 5-0 by Liverpool. As a United fan, I feel sorry for Sir Alex. He's left this club and it's rotten. It's like, I want Sir Alex to watch us win a league. He's an old man. He's not got many years left. I want him to watch us win a league without him. And I feel like we've let him down. We're meant to, he retired. And I feel like this club is just let him down. It always makes me depressed seeing how depressed Sir Alex Ferguson is. And I just hope that Ralf Rangnick will help build us back to where we want to be. And there was a really good quote that I'm going to find that Ralf Rangnick said, and this is it, and this is massive, guys. Listen to this. Ralf Rangnick, in his press conference, said, I am looking forward to helping Erik ten Hag and the club change the whole approach so Manchester United can be a top club again. And this has made my day. This has made my day. This is the best thing that's happened to Manchester United in the last 3 months. And this is basically Ralf Rangnick saying that he's looking forward to helping Erik ten Hag and the club change their whole approach so Man United can be a top club again. Ralf Rangnick has spent the last month in his press conference slandering the board, slandering the owners, slandering the way we do things. The last month, Ralf Rangnick has spoken about Liverpool, their rebuild, why Liverpool's rebuild was so successful and why none of our rebuilds have worked. Ralf Rangnick spent the last month saying the players are not at the level, the players have the wrong attitude. Ralf Rangnick spent the last month saying that this board does not do things correctly. It's not about changing the manager, it's about changing everything from top to bottom. Ralf Rangnick has said it all in his press conference, that United, they need to change, not only change the manager, they need to change the player, they need to change the board, they need to change how they do things, they need to modernise, they need to bring people like Paul Mitchell in. Hopefully Paul Mitchell will be coming in as well, which would be absolutely brilliant. He's obviously pushed for Ten Hag to come in. United have finally allowed Ten Hag power that no other manager has been given. And, Ralf Rangnick is now saying in his press conference that he's going to help their club change their whole approach so Manchester United can be a top club again. Is this Ralf Rangnick saying that Man United are going to give him the power to transform this club? Because, we can get Paul Mitchell, we can get Ralf Rangnick, and we can get Ten Hag in, and that is a fucking brilliant threesome. But at the same time, are they going to be given the power to do anything? And Ralf Rangnick is sitting here in his press conference saying that I'm going to change this club's whole approach so we can be a top club again, me, Ten Hag, and hopefully Paul Mitchell. And, United, haven't worked like a top club in years. We haven't functioned like a top club in absolute years. And it's not because of the manager. It's because of the board and the approach. And Ralf Rangnick is saying in his press conference, he's going to be changing that whole approach, which I think is absolutely massive. But as Nikov says, will the board let him know? And that is my question. I read this quote, I'm going, bish, bash, bosh. We've promised Ten Hag power. Rangnick's allowed to change the structure of this club. Bish, bash, bosh. Man United are going to change this club. Rangnick's coming in, maybe Paul Mitchell, maybe Ten Hag. It's a revolution. The board are going to change. We might change the way we do things. Woodward's gone. It's all positive when you look at it. But then when you believe it and you function and you think about it logically, you go, this is Manchester United. Manchester United function in this weird way that you don't know, are they even going to give Rangnick the power and all of that? But as Elliot said, Ralf Rangnick is basically exposing all the crap at Manchester United, which is absolutely what we love to see. And I think, you know, whether you like Ralf Rangnick as an interim manager or not, whether Ralf Rangnick's win rate is pretty awful, and whether you didn't want Ollie to be sacked, I think we can all agree as a fan base that Ralf Rangnick's press conferences, Ralf Rangnick's interviews are probably the best thing going on at this club. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, and I've been trolled. I know I'm drinking out of a Wolves glass, but it's the only glass or mug, sorry, available in this room that my friends deliberately left this in. So this is the only thing I can drink water out of. So I'm not a Wolves fan. I've been absolutely bantered. They've done that on purpose to me. But we are only 70 likes away from 200 likes. So please do smash that like button. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new as well. How far away are we from 34,000? We are 8 subscribers away from 34,000. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, of course subscribe. We're only 8 subscribers away. And Ralf and Mitchell don't take nonsense. They will walk. The thing is, we could get Paul Mitchell in, but if Man United start acting like a bullshit club with Ralf and Paul Mitchell, and then, yeah, they could just easily walk away and be like, yeah, fuck off United. You know, we're not here to be your little bitches. We're here to change the club. If you're not letting us change the club, they could walk off as well. And I've absolutely been mugged off because this is the only thing I can drink water out of, and I don't want to be going to the tap and going like this on a live stream. So, absolutely mugged off here as well. But back into the news. Quickly hit that like button. Quickly subscribe. But we've got lots to talk about. We've got Nunes news, Frenkie de Jong news, Antony and Timber news. We're going to get into the Antony and Timber news because it seems that Manchester United's first 2 signings could be players from Ajax. Now, of course, with Ten Hag coming in, United are going to get linked to a lot of Ajax players, a lot of Dutch players, a lot of former Eric Ten Hag players, like the Frenkie de Jong links. Is it lazy journalism, or is there something in there? Because if you're a journalist and you need a story, you can just easily make up something about Frenkie de Jong to Man United because Frenkie de Jong played under Eric Ten Hag and United need a midfielder and all of that. But I think what we do know is basically, you know, we're going to get a link to a lot of Ajax players, and most of it's going to be bullshit. The only Ajax players that Man United and Eric Ten Hag are interested in bringing to Manchester United are Antony and Timber. That has been confirmed by Romano. That's been confirmed by lots of journalists. There is an interest in Timber. There is an interest in Antony. If we're going to bring anyone from Ajax, it will be Antony and Timber. Obviously, Mike Wade, very reliable journalist, suggested that Manchester United will be. It's not a secret that Ten Hag will want to bring Antony and Timber with him to Manchester United. And, you know, there are reports that Manchester United are in talks with Timber. Now, look, Antony and Timber will most likely move from Ajax in the next year or so, and they could likely follow Ten Hag. Bayern Munich are interested in Antony, so we do need to keep an eye on that because, you know, although the Bundesliga is the fucking Farmers League, you know, right now, would you rather beat United? Would you rather be at Bayern Munich if you're a young player coming through? And you'd rather go to the Bundesliga because I think as a young player, the Bundesliga is a really good league to go to because it helps you get your feet sort of dived in, if you get what I mean. Like, these young players do better in the Bundesliga than the Premier League. And I think although we've got Ten Hag, and though we've got the Ten Hag pull, we could lose Timber to Bayern Munich. And United and Bayern Munich are the 2 teams that have obviously invested in Timber. And the Manchester United want a centre-back this summer, and it's been confirmed that Manchester United will try and sign a centre-back this summer. Centre-back, CDM and striker is basically been confirmed by all the outlets that they are the 3 positions that United want to get. And we saw Pau Torres today, and does Pau Torres compliment Lindelof? Does Pau Torres compliment Varane? You saw Pau Torres versus Liverpool. He's not the profile of centre-back that Manchester United need, and it will be £50 million. And I think considering we spent 40 million on Varane, and considering we spent 80 million on Maguire, I don't want to be spending 50 million on another centre-back, especially when that centre-back isn't as young, especially when that centre-back doesn't really suit the way we have. He's good on the ball, but it doesn't complement the centre-backs we have. That leaves us with Jules Koundé and Timber. And I love Jules Koundé. I think he's a fantastic centre-back, but again, he's going to be £60 million. I don't want to be spending that kind of money on centre-back. So for me, my first centre-back will be Julian Timber. We do know from MUFC MPB that Manchester United are in talks with Timber, and he's the only player that Manchester United have really actually had some contact with right now, and he could potentially be Ten Hag's first signing, but there will be competition from Bayern Munich. Now, what I love about Timber, and what I've said before about Timber, is he's 20 years of age. He can play at right back. He mostly plays centre back. We do need a little bit of cover at right back, but mostly we do need a centre back. So he ticks those boxes. He's young, so he ticks that box. United will be a step up. He ticks that box. He works under Erik Ten Hag. He plays in Ten Hag's system, bish bash posh. Ticks that box, but also he's a player that can be developed, a player that's going to get better. He's hungry, he's got the right attitude. And actually, when I've watched Timber play in the Champions League, when I've watched Timber play in the area division, I'm not going to lie, I've only seen him play about 5 times. He's been very impressive, his confidence, but actually how positionally aware he is. And, I watch Manchester United defend, and it doesn't matter if Maguire's playing or not. It doesn't matter if Telles is playing or not. We are pretty shit at defending. We're so positionally unaware. Like, Wan-Bissaka's positioning, Telles is positioning, Maguire's positioning. All the time when I watch us defend, we're so positionally unaware. And then I watch Timber and I watch Ajax defend, and they're so positionally aware. And, this is a big problem at United, our defence. It's a massive, massive problem. And I think, watching someone like Julian Timber be so positionally aware, I think, I quite like him at Manchester United. And I know it's a different league, but I've seen him in the Champions League, and he looks better than our defence in the Champions League, and he's only 20, and he works under Ten Hag. And that makes me think, and this, I don't know what you guys feel about that, but it makes me think, is Man United's defence really that bad, or is it something to do with the coaching? This sounds crazy. People might disagree with me on this, but, are defenders that bad at players, or is it the coaching? Because Luke Shaw was brilliant whenever he's played for England this season, but seems to be crap for us this season. Harry Maguire is brilliant at England. Obviously, it's different. England is easier. But I always think about Wan-Bissaka. I always think about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I always think that Aaron Wan-Bissaka's first season was very, very good. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's first season at Manchester United was very, very promising. But he's not developed as a player, and he's sort of been found out, and he's very positionally unaware, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I always sit there and I think, could this be that Wan-Bissaka, I'm not saying, we probably do need to sell Wan-Bissaka, and I'm not saying that, it's not Wan-Bissaka's fault, but what I'm saying is, do you ever feel like the lack of coaching at Manchester United has had a factor in maybe poor form of Wan-Bissaka? Gaz is the coaches in our club pub level coaches, because that's what it feels like exactly. And I saw this really good thing written on Wan-Bissaka, and this was by Man United Analytics on Twitter. And United Analytics on Twitter said that Wan-Bissaka is a good player in a compact 4-4-2 system where he had much less possession when he was 1v1 versus wings often, and he stood out because he was good in that system. Doesn't mean he'll be good in a progressive system, as shown, learn from mistakes. And was Wan-Bissaka the wrong signing? Is he a good player but not in our system? And I've always felt like that. And, is the coaching of our defence helping us as well? I reckon it must be the coaching, says Daniel. I agree. I don't think the defenders have been good enough. I don't think we brought in all the right defenders. But I think when our whole defence is so poor and they look better elsewhere and they look better at other clubs, I think a lot of it is defensive coaching. Because if you look at the line, if you look at our organisation, I think that comes down to coaching. And I think hopefully when Ten Hag comes in, he's going to reform that defence and change that coaching, because as I said, Timber looks so much more organised than Maguire, and Timber's 20 and Maguire's nearly 30. Maguire is always running out of line. He's too slow to get back in a 0 IQ. I agree as well. But I think Telles, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly and Phil Jones will go. Rob Dawson has said that Man United want to get rid of Bailly, Phil Jones, Telles and Wan-Bissaka. And I believe that Timber could be a good centre-back to come in and replace them. I think we will want centre-back, but also he can cover right-back. I would keep an eye on Spence from Nottingham Forest, but there's not much in it. But I think that Timber is the ideal target for Manchester United. United have entered talks with Timber. It's, reliable journalists have said that Ten Hag wants to bring Timber with him. Timber contract talks with Ajax stopped when Overmars left, because then Timber's very much a Ten Hag player. And Timber would be brilliant for United because he's the most affordable out of our centre-back options, probably the easiest to get, although there is competition from Bayern Munich, but he's wanted by Ten Hag. And I think Timber, I believe, could be United's first signing this summer, but if he goes to Bayern Munich, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, why would you go to United when you could go to Bayern Munich, even though it's a shit league? But when you're 20, it's quite good to develop in that league. It's a situation where I'd like Timber. I think they could be our first signing. I think it's the first signing that we're working on, according to MUFC. MPB, we are in talks with him. We'll have to wait and see where that goes. But I think Timber and Antony, in terms of transfers, are the ones we want to keep an eye on. Di Marzio, now Di Marzio is a really good source of information. Di Marzio is a tier 1 source. Actually said that Man United are interested in Wesley Fofana. And I think maybe if Timber doesn't go through, that Wesley Fofana could be that option. It's just, I have a thing now. I don't want to be spending money on Leicester centre-backs. I have a thing against Leicester centre-backs. And Wesley Fofana's a good centre-back, but I just have a thing where I don't want United buying another centre-back from Leicester. Ollie spent a fortune on defence and it's shit, as Gaz says. And we're only 50 likes away from 200 likes, guys. So if you're watching right now and you've not hit that like button, please do. Let's go for 200 likes on the video. And also, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to my channel, Alice Talks Football, please do go and subscribe down below. We're so close to 34,000 subscribers. We're 7 subscribers away from 34k. So if you're watching right now and you've not hit that subscribe button, please do. 7 subscribers to go until we hit 40k. So what do you want? Subscribe, bitch, subscribe. And yeah, and Andrew says that coaching does not help, but we are not recruiting well at all. And that's the bigger issue. In my opinion, Wan-Bissaka and Maguire were awful deals. £150 million Manchester United spent on Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James. Absolutely awful. You know, I sit there and I think, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? But guys, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, because there will be live tomorrow night for a Manchester United versus Chelsea watch along. So do make sure you're subscribed. Share the video, smash a like. 8 subscribers away from 34k. So if you're not subscribed, click that like button. And Fergie time ended a decade ago. And look, I wish Fergie was at United. And the sad thing is, Fergie knows Man United's a mess. Fergie's saying United's a mess. We're all saying Man United's a mess, and it's the biggest mess we've ever been. And this was meant to be, this season was, you know, the hope of this season was crazy. And the way it's forward. And you know what? I've seen a lot of this on Twitter, but the highlight of our season was Ronaldo walking out the tunnel versus Newcastle. You know, Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and Manchester again. You know, that little bit of commentary and Ronaldo walking out the tunnel was the highlight of our season. It gave me goosebumps. It's the only thing good about the season was that little bit of commentary. You know, Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and Manchester again. Like that's the highlight of our season. A bit of fucking commentary, and Ronaldo walking out the tunnel. And now it's rebuild 5,665,000 since Sir Alex has left. It feels like. When Matic gets tired in the 50th minute, bring Garnacho on. Why not? I think Mesh would be a more suitable replacement now for Matic, but you know, because we don't have any midfield, and no midfield against Chelsea could cause problems. But yes, definitely as well. And Andrew said at least Sir Alex Ferguson got out when he did to preserve his legacy. He was not being back much at the end either. He wasn't. Those final seasons of Sir Alex, if you look at the squad that Sir Alex Ferguson won the Premier League with, it's fucking shit. That 2013 Premier League side, it was just Van Persie and a load of shit players. Well, not, they weren't all shit, but I mean Anderson, Cleverley, a lot of crap. And as soon as Sir Alex Ferguson left, we realised how shit some of our players were and how much of a miracle worker Sir Alex was. Sir Alex Ferguson is an absolute miracle worker, and no one can deny that. You know, what he did and what he got out of this team is absolutely crazy, isn't it? You know, the disrespect he gets as well. I just think that Pep will never be on Sir Alex's level, because Pep's never had to do it under owners like the Glazers. And I think since Sir Alex has left, and Moyes is a good manager, Moyes couldn't succeed at United. Mourinho is a good manager, he couldn't succeed at United. And Van Gaal's a good manager, and they couldn't succeed at United. You know, Pep, I don't think could succeed at United. Klopp, I don't think could succeed at United. And for me, that is why Alex Ferguson is going to go down as the best manager that's ever lived. Steve says we're on 154 likes, guys, so please do keep hitting that like button. 46 likes away from 200 likes. So can we get 200 likes by the end of the live stream? We've got over 200 people watching. So if you're not hit that like button, what are you doing? Smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please do. We're only 6 subscribers away from 34k. And I'm going to be live tomorrow for Manchester United Chelsea watch along. And I will be doing a match reaction after the game. So I will be live tomorrow night. So if you are watching right now and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? 6 off 34k. So please do subscribe. And they won't act like this when Ten Hag comes. I think Ralf has exposed them all. I think when Ten Hag comes, hopefully the players will pipe down. And outside Robin Van Persie, our recruitment towards the end was shite in the Sir Alex Ferguson era, I agree. And Sir Alex Ferguson won 3 league titles with Aberdeen, beat Real Madrid in the Cup, Winners' Cup, and beat Bayern in the Super Cup. Exactly. Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager of all time. And you can argue if you're mad about that, because I am going to argue with it. You're never going to change my opinion if you don't think so as well. Into transfer news, though, Fabrizio Romano has said a few interesting things there regarding Manchester United transfer news and other transfer news going around. And, you know, with Ten Hag coming in, we know that Manchester United are very, very close to getting some transfer deals done. Well, not, I wouldn't say getting them done, but now we can actually focus on our transfer deals, and we actually know who Manchester United want to sign. You know, we knew for a while CDM striker at United, but now Ten Hag's in, we actually have an indication of what's Man United's transfer direction, what are we hoping to do, and all of that as well. So I'm going to go back to full screen and hope that that is not blurry. Is that blurring? Is that annoying? Is the light flickering annoying? Do let me know. But into the transfer news, into what Mr. Fabrizio Romano has said. The dawn of transfers, Fabrizio Romano has said that Lille are already preparing to sell some players in the summer, and Jonathan David's rise from January 2018 has been excellent, and top clubs have had his name on their list. David is now Lille's top scorer with 17 goals this season, 3 in the UCL, and he's only 22 and a price tag around 50 million euros. And this is Jonathan David, the Canadian guy. Now, look, Jonathan David is a good young striker. United do need a young striker, but where I'm not the biggest fan of Jonathan David is Jonathan David has 17 goals and 0 assists in 3,000 minutes, which, you know, it's decent record. He's only 22, but I'm thinking this is League One, the Uber Eats League. However, no, Messi can't get many goals, and Messi's meant to be the GOAT in that league. But Jonathan David only has 1 goal in 2022. You know, Jonathan David's been in the form of Man United in 2022. He's not been particularly good. And I don't know, like, he's a good player, but I don't know if he's going to be United quality. I'd rather be going for someone like Osimhen from Napoli as a young striker. Even Gabby Jesus is fucking banging it in. He might be going to Arsenal. Darwin Núñez, I think, would be a better option. You know, I don't really want to be going for someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin or someone like Jonathan David, who actually, what have they done in the last 6 months? Fuck all. But United are one of the sides interested in him, but, you know, there's loads of sides interested in him, and we might just be a name used to help him get brought by another club, because, you know, we've been linked to Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. You know, what is it? You know, Walsh was wet, Cavani's always injured, and Man United will get at least one transfer linked to Milinkovic-Savic every single transfer window. We won't get Milinkovic-Savic. Maybe Jonathan David is just going to be the new Milinkovic-Savic, where we'll be linked to him, but we won't actually go for him. Fabrizio Romano has also spoken about Pau Torres to Manchester United, and he said that Pau Torres was on obviously Manchester United's list before they signed Varane, and we know that. And now Pau Torres could have the opportunity to leave Villarreal this summer. He has a release clause of around 55 to 60 million euros. Again, Romano confirming that if United want Pau Torres, they have to pay a 55 million euro release clause, which is 50 million pounds. And I just can't see us doing it. He was second choice to Varane last summer. Why would we get someone that wasn't even first choice last summer, the following summer? I think we need to focus on someone like Timber. And I think watching Villarreal, and I think Pau Torres is a good centre-back, he just doesn't complement what we have. He's not what we have. And I know we've got interest in Fofana. I know there's interest in Koundé. I know there's interest in Pau Torres, but I think United need to go for Timber. I know we're in talks with Timber, and I know that Timber is the most advanced in terms of Man United signing a player and looks the most likely. But I think we really need to focus on Timber as well. And on news about Antony and Timber, if you guys aren't aware, is that basically the only Ajax players that Manchester United have a current interest in is Timber and Antony, despite being linked to other Ajax players. And you know, Mike Way, it's more of an opinion from Mike Way, but Mike Way, a very, very reliable journalist, done work with The Telegraph, a very good source for Dutch journalism, has said that, you know, it's no secret that Erik ten Hag is extremely charmed by Timber and Antony, and they're 2 players he would want to take with him to Manchester United by a Tier 1 journalist. And then MUFC MPB has said that it's exclusive. Manchester United are now progressing talks with Timber's agent, and Ajax have also been made aware of United's interest with him. That is confirmation that we are progressing towards the Timber's agents. Naj says, hi Alice, much love from Nigeria. Big up Naj in Nigeria. Do let me know where you're watching from down below in the chat. Interesting to see what everyone's watching for. And as Daniel said, Timber would really improve your defence. And I would love to be doing the Timber, you know, find some good chance for him as well. And maybe Erik ten Hag can resuscitate Rashford. I believe that Ten Hag could. I think there's a player in Rashford, and I think there's one more season in Rashford. And I believe that Rashford, there is a good player in Marcus Rashford, and I'm not going to write him off. I even think with Martial, there's still a player in there. Martial and Rashford were so good 2 seasons ago, and they just fucked. And I still think there's a player in there. I think they need the confidence. I think they need the right coaching. I think they need the right system and support. But 100%. And also, Ekrem Kanar, so a journalist called Ekrem Kanar, who I'm not particularly familiar with, has said that Manchester United and Chelsea are in talks with Ajax to sign Antony. Now, I know we're in talks with Timber's agent from MUFC MPB, but I'm not quite sure on who the source of information is. But there's basically a report saying that we're not just in talks with Timber, but Man United are also in talks for Antony. And then that links into what Tier 1 journalist Mike Way has said. Tier 1 journalist Mike Way has said that United and Ten Hag wants to bring Timber and Antony with him to United. We know that Ten Hag wanted to bring Timber and Antony with him to Manchester United. We know that, and apparently, according to other sources, that were in talks with Timber and were talks with Antony. This could just be lazy journalism, someone going on a guess because they know that we want them, but I think it's interesting. We've got someone watching in Suriname here. I'm not, you know what? I don't think I've ever had someone watch from Suriname before, so big up you as well. And Martial needs to be sold 100%. Martial is on the list of players that Man United need to sell. If you're unaware of who Man United's list of players to sell are, it's Antony, Martial, Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, Wan-Bissaka, Telles. They're the 5 players that Man United have written down that they want to sell. And then obviously Lingard's out of contract, Mata and Matic's out of contract, Pogba's out of contract, and Cavani's out of contract. They're the 10 players set to leave, and they're the 10 players that Ralf Rangnick wants to get rid of from Man United. And there was a report that 10 players were expected to leave Man United, and Ralf Rangnick wants 10 players to leave, and those are the 10 players as well. And Alice, all the coaches are going to leave, e.g. Phelan, Fletcher. Hopefully, I don't think Fletcher's going anywhere. Rumours say that Phelan's set to stay, but I don't know why he'd stay. And I don't really know what Fletcher does. I don't know why Fletcher would stay. And Alexander says, I reckon Eric Ten Hag is going to change 40% of the squad and up to 70% of the squad the second year. I think that's what Eric Ten Hag wants to do, Alexander. I think he's spot on. I think it's what he wants to do. It's whether the Glazers give him the power and ability to do that. And when you think and you look at the structure of Manchester United, then we've got, 7 of our players are the top 10 highest earners in the league. And 7 of those players are not good enough to be the top 10 highest earners in the league. And it's actually going to be really, really difficult for Manchester United to sell those players. So it's like, I think that's what Ten Hag wants to do, but I don't know if he'll be able to do that as well. And I don't want to see Fletcher and Felmer here next season, says Gaz. Exactly. They're not good enough. And YouTube says, I strongly reckon Fergie's scouts made him who he was and made Man United a big scout club. No and yes. I think that Fergie's a good manager. He won stuff with Aberdeen, but I think when Fergie was originally here, he had a better support system and he was dying under the Glazers. But yeah, Bale free transfer. Look, Bale's a good player, but I think in terms of a rebuild with so many dressing room issues, with so many toxicity, I don't want United bringing anyone in that's old and on big wages. I think, Bale could be someone that causes dressing room issues. Apparently, he caused issues at Real Madrid. I do like Bale, but I'm very much like, I do not want someone on ridiculous wages. And this, because we've got so many issues in the dressing room. That's just how I feel. Guys, we are 5 subscribers away from 34k. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Alice Talks Football, please do subscribe, because I am 5 subscribers away from 34k on the channel. So it'd be really cool if we can get 5 more people watching that aren't subscribed to subscribe. And of course, hit that like button. We've got over 200 people watching. Can we get over 200 likes as well? And Andrew said no to Bale, Ousmane Dembele, massive wages with injury concerns and suspect attitudes as well. Yeah, I prefer Ousmane Dembele because he's young to Bale, and I actually think he's been quite balling out, but I just think they're not the right direction of what we should be going for. Some more quotes by Ralf Rangnick have just come out as well, actually. Ralf Rangnick's done another one of his interviews, which we all have to see. And Ralf Rangnick has said, and let me read it out now. This has come out from the United report in Ralf Rangnick's latest interview. But Ralf Rangnick is basically saying that about the past at United, the board, and what he's worked. And Ralf Rangnick has said, I think I've tried everything I can do, but that's not necessary. I mean, that we did everything right. Everybody has to question themselves, the staff, the players, myself. Could we have done better in the past? Ralf Rangnick, again, is coming out and he's basically saying he thinks he's done his best. He's tried everything he can. But he said that even though he might have done everything right, it doesn't mean that everyone's done everything right. And this is Ralf Rangnick, again, basically saying the staff, the players, and the board at Manchester United could have done better in the past. NS Sports TV, thank you for the super chat. What would your ideal summer transfer window be? A good question, mate. Tchouaméni, but I think he is Real Madrid bound. Kamara probably because he's 3 as the second midfielder coming in. Then I would say Timber, and then I'd say Spence as a right back because they're both cheap. And then Antony, and then Nunes. And I actually think if you look at the price and some of them being 3, that's somewhat realistic apart from Tchouaméni. But I think that would be my dream transfer window. Of course, let me know your dream transfer window down below as well. And smash the like button, as Gaz says, we're only 30 away from 200 likes, which is brilliant if we can hit that. But that's Ralf Rangnick again saying in his latest interview, he thinks everybody has to question themselves. Ralf Rangnick has said that he's looking forward to working in the advisory role and obviously helping Eric Ten Hag as he wants to do it himself. So far, we haven't been able to speak with each other. We've had no contract. Ralf Rangnick and Ten Hag haven't had any contract yet. he said that Ten Hag has his focus on Ajax and he has his focus on United, and they're willing to help. And he's willing to help Eric prepare once the season is over, which makes sense. Rangnick has said the medical department, they are top, so there is nothing that needs to be changed or put under scrutiny. But obviously, if we have 7 outfield players missing tomorrow, it's not a good thing for the season. Ralf Rangnick saying that actually the Man United players missing isn't on the medical staff. And Ralf Rangnick said in his press conference before that he praises Fred because if Fred's injured, he knows Fred's injured because Fred isn't one of those players. And maybe players are injured because they're injured. They're injured. You know, they don't want to play. And Ralf Rangnick said that he strongly believes that there's a lot of things that can become better and will become better with the new manager, and hopefully with some new players and with some fresh energy in the squad. And this, again, this is Ralf Rangnick. My man Ralf Rangnick saying he believes that things will be better at Manchester United and hopefully some fresh energy in the squad and some new players in the squad. The Man United players aren't going to be happy about that, because that is Ralf Rangnick basically coming out again and saying that hopefully with some new players, with some fresh energy in the squad, that we will be better. Again, Ralf Rangnick going in. Ralf Rangnick said it's obvious that a few players' contracts are expiring and that there will be a number of new players. With this group of new players and the quality of players that we have here with the new manager, I'm very positive about next season, Rangnick said. Rangnick said, in my last 2 clubs, we never signed a player without the approval of the manager, and I'm pretty sure this will be the case for Ten Hag. This is, again, massive from Ralf Rangnick. You know, Ralf Rangnick, I think, has had a word with the Man United board and said, you need to change. You need to only sign players if the manager approves them. And, you know, Rangnick coming out and saying that, you know, this is going to change. Man United are going to get the approval from the manager before they sign players, I think is a big statement from Ralf Rangnick. And obviously that's something that massively needs to be done under Eric Ten Hag. So, of course, big up Ralf Rangnick for saying that. And he's very positive that Eric Ten Hag will make some suggestions on players to sign. Then together the board will do some scouting, and department and possibly Rangnick will hopefully decide on the right players. And Ralf Rangnick has sort of said today that he's going to kind of be given a say at Manchester United. He kind of has a plan, and, you know, he's saying some positive things. And Rangnick has also said today that it's obvious that the recruitment is a vital part of Manchester United, and of course the quality of the job, the coach, the coaching staff, but recruitment is vital, and recruitment means getting the best possible players in. And Rangnick's potentially suggesting that he's going to have a part to play in the future recruitment of Manchester United, which I think will be massive. And I think this is definitely something the squad needs, because I think the recruitment at the club in the past has been nowhere near the level if you look at the other top clubs. Rangnick failed, played worse defence, a little defence. He's making excuses. Rangnick's not here to be a manager. Rangnick's here to go in the consultancy role higher up. He's just doing a job to the end of the season. And Steve says Brentford on Monday night. Been a long time since Man U had a Monday game. It has. You know, I'm actually excited for the Brentford game because I think we might win. I don't think we're going to beat Chelsea. And Tchouameni's coming to Liverpool. Don't get your hopes up. I think he's coming to Madrid. And Eric Ten Hag and Ralf Rangnick will have a great working relationship. Yeah, I think that you are right there, Daniel. And Joel Glazer probably fainted when Ralf told him they need 10 players. Joel Glazer probably thought, Joel Glazer probably can't even name 10 players at Man United. He's probably that fucking stupid, isn't he? And I'm shocked that Man United have signed players without the manager's approval. Yeah, mind blown. And that's something that Ralf Rangnick has gone to United and gone, we really need to change this. We really need to make sure that when we do sign players from now on that we do get approval. And luckily, most of those leaving on a free are not really playing or impacting much anyway. We still need to bring in a fair amount of transfers. Yeah, Mata leaving on a free is going to have no effect. Lingard leaving on a free is going to have no effect. And Cavani leaving on a free is going to have no effect because they've barely played. Pogba will have an effect, but I think this season and a half, Pogba's been invisible. I think the only player that we're going to miss is Matic, but Matic hasn't really been able to do it at his best level anyway. So when you look at the 5 players leaving on a free from Manchester United, it's not the most negative thing as well. And Daniel being Glazer sucking, you're absolutely spot on there, Daniel. But I do look at it and I go, Lingard has gone, Matic has gone, Mata's gone, Pogba's gone, Cavani's gone, bish bash bosh, they're out. We want to get rid of Tellez, we want to get rid of Bailly, we want to get rid of Wan-Bissaka, we want to get rid of Jones, and apparently we want to get rid of Martial as well. So they're the 10 players Ralf Rangnick wants gone, and then Ralf Rangnick wants to bring 10 players in, which I don't think will happen. I think we'll get 3 players, probably 4 or 5, depending on price. Romano said we could expect up to 5 players. But again, my dream transfer window would be Spence, the young right back from Nottingham Forest, would be 12 million. Timber would be 20 million. That's a centre back. Tchouameni 50 million. Kamara 3. Antony 25 million. Nunes 60 million. I think that would be a brilliant transfer window. But that's 6 players, and United aren't capable of that. And Pogba leaving will have a positive effect. Maybe it will. I think Pogba leaving is the right thing. He's not been good enough. He's not worth 500k a week, and he's just been inconsistent, poor in different positions, injuries. I think that we need to get over Paul Pogba, and I think we need to bring in a fresh player that we know want to be here. And I think the last 2 years, we always felt like Paul Pogba's not even wanted to be here the last 2 years. And part of me goes, can you blame Paul Pogba? Have we wasted his career like we wasted Mata's career? Could they have had a better career if they weren't at United? Probably yes. But at the same time, as a United fan, it's annoying going, Mino Raiola comes out, Pogba doesn't want to be here 1 minute, then the next minute Paul Pogba does want to be here, then the next minute Paul Pogba doesn't want to be here. And I'm kind of fed up as a United fan of Pogba wants this, Pogba wants that. And I think that Pogba leading ultimately is the best thing. And no way, Antony ain't going nowhere for 25 million. Honestly, Antony could be between 25 and 40 million. That's what I mean. And Pogba is good, but lazy here, not suited to the league, too fast for him. Maybe Paul Pogba isn't suited to the Premier League as well. He's had some good games, but he's just not consistent enough. And Andrew says, ideally sell Henderson, Martial, Bayer and Jones. That would increase the budget. Yeah, we're likely to have a £200 million budget if we can sell the players that we want sold out. It's just going to be a problem of, can we sell the players that we want gone? You know, United have paid so much ridiculous money to so many players. Our wage bill's so over the top that it's actually a lot harder to sell players than we think. Benny says, if you have Ronaldo and a couple 100 million players, how can you not win now, Mo? Because the players don't have the right attitude. You can have all the players, you can have all the big names, but if they don't have the right attitude, it's, yeah. Niall Ken says, thoughts on Liverpool game tonight, Alice. It wasn't as good as the City Real Madrid game that Liverpool were dominant, and I fucking hate it. And Niall says, like, subscribe, and share the stream. Alice is amazing. Yes, guys, please do like, subscribe, and share the stream. And damn, Alice is in the kitchen for real. Yeah, everyone kept telling me to go to the kitchen, so I'm going to the kitchen. You know, they can't, at least no one can comment in the slide, get to the kitchen, because I'm already in it, I guess. But I didn't actually think about it. It's quite a funny joke as well. But getting back into the news as well, I did a video earlier today talking about some of the things going on, obviously the KALVIN Phillips news. If I'm going to be honest with you, I'd love Frenkie de Jong, I'd love Tchouaméni, but if we're going to be 100% realistic, it is most likely to be someone like KALVIN Phillips. Whether you like KALVIN Phillips or not, I think Tchouaméni's better. I think Frenkie de Jong's better. I think, you know, Lema out there is better. I think there's better CDMs abroad. I think realistically, KALVIN Phillips is the type of midfielder that will be coming to Manchester United in the summer. I cannot see de Jong and I cannot see Tchouaméni, although I'd love it to happen. The Cuddler's Live, thank you very much for the super chat. He said that he's a Chelsea fan here, but I like your content and analysis. Even though we are the favourite for the match against United, I still feel uneasy after that awful performance against Arsenal. Chelsea do have a reputation for being charity FC. They do like to give a little bit of money to the charity teams, but United are very, very dreadful. That I don't think you've got much to worry about. I mean, we are dreadful at the moment. The only good thing going for us is that Ten Hag coming in, and hopefully that will motivate some of the players that haven't been performing to perform. But United have been dreadful lately. And what time is it in England up so early? It is at 8 minutes past 11 in England. The only reason I'm live so late is because of the Champions League. I would have probably gone live around 8:30 today, but it's just with the Champions League and everything. I thought, oh, well, if I go live at 9, is anyone really going to tune in? They're probably watching the Champions League. So I thought, yeah, fuck it, we'll go live at 10. I don't really like 10 o'clock live streams, but I thought, you know what, get through the news, because I did a video this morning. I might do a video out at 12 tomorrow, but I'm not sure. Because obviously Ralf Rangnick's made some comments. There might be a video coming out at midday tomorrow. So do subscribe if you're not subscribed, because I want to talk about Ralf Rangnick's vision and some of the key things that Ralf Rangnick said about the long-term plan with Ten Hag. So if you're not subscribed, bish bash bosh, do subscribe. But I definitely will be back tomorrow evening for Manchester United versus Chelsea watch along. Hopefully it won't be as painful. Watch longs are like my least favorite video at the moment, because I fucking hate watching United. But I love engaging with the chat and watch along. But we will be back tomorrow night for United Chelsea watch along. And also match reaction. It's 3:40 in the morning in India. Well, commitment for watching at 3:40 in the morning. And forget Phillips and wait to transfer window is not good enough. We need to get CDM though. That's the thing. And Tchouaméni's out. Frenkie de Jong, I don't think will happen. I think it could be Phillips. If I'm going to be honest, I think our transfer window could be Núñez, Phillips, and Timber. I think if someone said, Alice, predict Man United's transfer window right now, I'd say KALVIN Phillips, Timber, and Núñez. And I'm not even confident we'll get Núñez. He's just the only striker that United have actually been interested in. We know from Romano that United have 100% have got an interest in Núñez. We know from Romano we know from the Athletic there's an interest in KALVIN Phillips, and the Athletic is just as reliable as Romano. And we obviously know from Mike Way there's an interest in Timber. So they're 3 of the 5 players that we know United definitely have an interest in this summer. as well. And SA16 says, how come Darwin Núñez will be 60 million and Antony will be 40 million? I think he will be around 50 to 70 million because of his performances this season. Remember, Donny's 40 million as a midfielder. Yeah, potentially, but I don't think Ajax do price their players quite nicely as well. And congrats on 34,000 subscribers. Yes, guys, we have 34,001 subscribers. So we've actually hit the 34K this video, which is brilliant. And if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe because we're on the road to 35K. I want to hit 40,000 subscribers by September. I want to hit 40K by the end of the summer transfer window. So we're sort of on that grind. So if you're not subscribed, do subscribe. And of course, hit that like button as well. It's been a pretty good live stream so far. Andrew says, even Neves, I rate him, but him and Bruno together with the risk taking would have Eric Ten Hag pull his hair out. Yeah, that's a thing as well. And I rate Núñez at 50 million. I do rate Núñez, but he's a player on individual brilliance. Is he a system player? And I think with Ten Hag, we need to be targeting system players. And why would Núñez already come when he's in the Champions League? Like, why would anyone come to us right now? That negativeness of why would anyone come to Manchester United? And we used to be the big four teams, and now we lose to the small teams. Yeah, it's weird, you know. We used to beat Chelsea and City, and now we can't beat anyone at the moment. This is a thing. We've got Brentford and Brighton. We've got Brentford, Brighton, and Palace to go. We've got Chelsea, Brentford, Brighton, and Palace to go. And I'm not confident we can beat any of them. I think Brentford will be our easiest game, but it's mad. And Alice said, I see you with a Wolves mug. I've been trolled. It's the only mug in the room, and I needed a drink. And yeah, my mates thought it'd be funny to give me a Wolves mug. Well, you know, if it was City or Liverpool, I'd just let my mouth dry out and be like, but it's only Wolves. And you know what? I'm representing Ruben Neves on the stream. We're representing Ruben Neves on the stream. We're going to say it like that as well. And I hope Ten Hag makes a difference. I'm real fed up with these players and their 40 towers football, exactly. And I'm fed up with the attitude in Gases. I don't think we'll beat Luton. I don't think we would. I think if United were in the Championship right now, with our attitude, we'd probably be getting relegated. We'd probably make Barnsley like Liverpool. You know, United are that unpredictable. And Daniel says, hopefully Garnacho starts tomorrow. I'd like to see Garnacho and MEJBRI involved. I can't tell you if they're going to start or not, but they're definitely players that I would love to see involved tomorrow. And I think most of us will. And Ollie was super underrated name to come in United manager. I wouldn't say Ollie's underrated. I think Ollie's caused problems for everyone. And please secure fourth spot before the Callus game. I'd love us to get fourth spot, but I'm at the point right now where as long as we get the Europa League, I think I'm going to celebrate. I just don't want to be in that shitty Conference League that I think I would take Europa League. Do you think Rangers will win tomorrow, Alice? I think they will. Weirdly, I have a feeling that it could be a Rangers-West Ham final. I'd like a Rangers-West Ham final as well. I mean, look, I'm enjoying the Europa League more than the Champions League this season. Maybe because City and Liverpool are going to be in the final, but I've been really enjoying watching that West Ham in the Europa League because I actually want them to do well. You know, don't know if anyone else feels like that. But look, guys, I am going to wrap up the live stream in just a second, so any last questions, do get them in. But I should be live, not live, well, we'll be live tomorrow at 7:45. Man United Chelsea, I believe, is 8 o'clock. I'm just going to Google that now. We play Chelsea tomorrow night and kickoff is at 7:45. So I will be live at 7:30 tomorrow for Manchester United versus Chelsea. So do make sure you're subscribed for that. 7:30, Man U versus Chelsea. And then I also will probably do a short video tomorrow morning on some comments that Ralf Rangnick's made about the Manchester United rebuild as well. So do make sure to subscribe, do smash the like button, do smash a share and all of that. And look, I'm going to end the live stream now, but I do want to say thank you for tuning in. If you're not subscribed and you like the content, do subscribe because I am back tomorrow with short video, probably at lunchtime, and then the live stream in the evening, and then a match reaction after that as well. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button. Big up everybody in today's live stream. Been a really, really good live stream actually as well, but it's very late now and I need to go to bed. So that's only why I'm wrapping it up now as well. But yeah, thoughts on Diallo on loan at Rangers? It's just not been the right loan, has it? I think I like Diallo, but it's not going well, is it? Guys, smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you then.